This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lag. Whole squad all dressing all black.
From the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 48 back in 2014, there's a look at MetLife Stadium here in East Rutherford. A few moments ago, the crowd here was on their feet as their beloved Jets made their way out of the tunnel. They're ready to go. We're ready to go, and it should be a good one as those New York Jets get set to face off with the Cleveland Browns. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line.
The Browns take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
Mayfield on 1st down. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Sacked there by Avery Williamson, the linebacker.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Tremaine Johnson that time there to force the incompletion.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That'll allow him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. To throw, Mayfield. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Brian Poole. And they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15. He was looking for Landry that time. They are in a zone. Remember, folks, 4 interceptions for this defense a week ago. First drive, make it number 5.
And the focal point will be the people who pick the ball out of the air. But let's not forget, to make that happen, it has to be an excellent pass rush. Terrific
rush coming, and he's taken down. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
They'll run here with a former Steeler. This is Le'Veon Bell. Tackle made by Demarius Randall.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Bravo! Baby, that's baby shot. Mike 51, Mike 51. Go, go, go. Man, 80. 51's the mic, 51's the mic. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
The shotgun snap for Darnold. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, certainly not how he wanted to start his night. First throw of the game, an INT.
Yeah, it's not easy, but he's got to try and wipe that one away from the memory banks. And let's face it, it's not often a quarterback and a defensive back have a lot in common. But one thing, because they have these individual type plays, they've got to have short memories, don't they? DB gets beat, wipe it away, quarterback throws a pick, has to do the same thing.
Following the interception, Mayfield. And he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. You think back to last year when these two teams met in Week 3. That was a big one for the Browns franchise and for Baker Mayfield. Mayfield came in relief of Tyrod Taylor and broke the Browns' 19-game losing streak, beating fellow rookie Sam Darnold 21-17. And after the game, a lot of you will remember Browns management unlocking the, shall we call them, refreshment fridges that had been padlocked for so long until the Browns got that victory. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. The Jets will bring in a nickel set as they try to stop this 3rd down.
Push him back. 58 to Mike, 58 to Mike. Go! 58. Hey, Charlie!
Mayfield on play action. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Avery Williamson able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. The Browns send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Crowder now to return. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10.
At their own 38-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Darnold from the gun. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this 1st quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
The open man is Shark. It's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Red 80. I'm here. Red 80. Check 3. Hey, Alpha.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. 1st quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Let's go. And the Browns 1st down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the gun, Mayfield. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. That's caught inside the 20. And deep he goes into Jets territory before being taken down. A big play that time for Cleveland. 47 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Now Mayfield. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Darnold going to lead the Jets up now, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Here's Bell. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The Jets were 26th in rushing in the NFL last year. That's a big reason they went and signed Bell back on March 13th. And plays like that give them optimism that they can move up the pecking order in the NFL rushing ranks. They run on first down as they're able to get this forward for about 4. The tackle made by the linebacker, Joe Schobert.
4 yards on the pickup.
53, Mike.
Second and 6.
From the 45 on second down, Darnold, open man left side. That's the tight end, Herndon. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
Gain of 2 on the play. Brings up 3rd and 4.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter now from MetLife Stadium. The Jets with the football here. They're on the march, but facing a third down here. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. He's going to go for it all. Got a man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. Quincy Enunwa, his first touchdown of the new season, as his guys are on the board first here tonight. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
The Browns drive about to get started. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got
pressure comes, and down goes Baker Mayfield. Blowing that play up was Henry Anderson. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Mayfield to throw it. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
I'm laughing to myself because I could just hear in film session. But, Coach, I was throwing to Odell Beckham Jr. Of course I thought he was open.
They'd love to go deep downfield to him, though. Such a threat.
Yeah, a rare incompletion because most of the time we expect him to actually come up with the catch.
That's track. 58, boys, 58. 58, Mike. Ready? Let's go.
Third and long for Mayfield. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
Now it's Crowder. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the...
That's caught inside the 20. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Robbie Anderson, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Jets get the quick strike touchdown. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. He was looking to get it to Jarvis Landry that time, and it's 3rd and 5. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And he's got his man. That's Landry. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
Hey, alert 33.
17 yards.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
And that's now the 2nd time he's picked off a pass here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively. And you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
No. Lady.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. He finds an opening past the 40. He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They go play action here on 1st down. He's going to launch this thing. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Greedy Williams, the rookie from LSU. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
The Browns drive about to get started, and they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive, but at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work?
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off Byron Jones. And he'll take it across midfield to the 46-yard line. Count them now, 6 interceptions between last week and this week. Now, the 3 picks last week helped them to a win. They're in the driver's seat once more.
And they're the ones that are doing all the leading, aren't they? Right? The 3 interceptions last week, that led to a victory. 3 interceptions so far in this game, that has them out in front. We often think of the offense driving things. In this case, it's the defense, not just holding teams, but creating big plays for themselves.
After the interception, here's Darnold. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They'll give this to Bell running right. They get just a yard back there, and now they'll be looking at a tough 3rd and 15.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Watch the curl. Watch the curl.
3rd and long, it's Darnold. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Denzel Ward. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
A good start to the drive here as that's caught out on the left side. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. He'll let it go deep for Beckham, and that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know, but all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one, much more like lead.
What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Give me some. We got regular.
A second down throw for Mayfield. Well, going deep here for Taylor. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. And again, it's Mayfield. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And the ball is knocked out. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Caught left side, it's Beckham. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Big Leonard Williams there on the stop.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
On 2nd and 9, Mayfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Flush to his right. He may try and run for this. And he'll be brought down well short of the first at about the 9-yard line. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So on 4th down, out comes the Browns kicker, Austin Seibert, from the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And he pulled it. Oh, my goodness. It's no good. He missed it. And this score will stay right where it is. So we would have figured that one to be 3 points in the bank, but this game, it can be unpredictable at times.
Yeah, he knew he needed to pull it ever so slightly to get it going in the right direction, but he seemed to put a little too much on it.
And got his man complete. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. DJ Chark, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Jets will extend their lead. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And he'll actually lose about 7 yards on the return, but they have possession of the football on the turnover.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
Hey, Zoo.
On 1st and 10, Darnold. And the Browns' pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Credit the sack to Malik Jefferson. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Mike, go. Mike, 51. You run.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Darnold. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Darnold and the Jets come up 3rd and long following the sack.
There you go. Kill.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. And the pressure gets to him again. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Now Landry, 62 yards on the punt that time. Wow. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
King! Watch out! Pistol.
They go play action. Mayfield. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. And the safety there, another mistake, and these mistakes just keep piling up.
How many more can they make? They put themselves in such a massive hole now. Going to be difficult to dig out from under.
Yeah, for sure they can't afford anymore. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. And the Jets set to receive this third quarter kickoff, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in the second half. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on
Le'Veon Bell, kiss him goodbye. And all the way in, touchdown, New York. Le'Veon Bell, 79 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. The Browns drive about to get started. They just yielded a touchdown on the other end. Now they'll be trying to answer the bell and get a score of their own.
It's their opportunity to match. Can they do exactly what they just saw happen to them? Go down the field and score a touchdown. And to me, the best way to do it, look at your play sheet coordinator and call plays for guys who make the best plays for you. Go to the guys that you know can get the ball down to the end zone.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Mayfield looks to throw. Looking for the out route. It's completed to Landry. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. A gain of 13. It's a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Let's go, dude.
Mayfield now. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes down and it's just the bright lights in the stadium, there's a little extra spring in their step, doesn't it? And that's what we're seeing from the defenders. Doesn't matter if it's man or zone. Deep ball, short ball. That was a deep one there. They're making plays on the football.
And now here is another interception. Picked up by Jamal Adams. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sideline, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
At the 28-yard line.
Yo, sign. 53, check 53. Red 80. Check. Hey, watch edge.
They'll go again with Bell. The stop was made by Jannard Avery.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
53, Mike. Hey.
Throwing here on 3rd down. Darnold under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Landry now on the return. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
All day, every day.
To throw, Mayfield. Going back to Landry. This time he's got him complete. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's scooped up by the Jets. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember is the player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
Now a first down carry by Bell. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Jets move the chains. Bell, of course, three-time 1,000-yard rusher. Sat out 2018, but you look back to 2017, a tick under 1,300 yards and almost 700 more receiving. On first down, Darnold. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The number 1 pick, Myles Garrett, coming in to drop him. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle.
Heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges. Deuce, lady.
This is Bell, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Again, it's Bell. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Good word. I like it, though.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jamal Adams. Trying to get it to Landry there. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run it with Bell. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
They'll keep it on the ground. Bell. And the lane closes quickly for Bell, and he did not make it. They end up getting stuffed twice after that 9-yard gain back on first down. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And this one is right down Broadway. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Browns drive about to get started. And last time, one-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in it, and let him fling another one.
Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Point it right. Two-jet bomber. He's coming. We got double up. Hey.
They'll try to run for the first down with Hunt. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. And that's going to leave him with just 1 timeout remaining still in the 3rd quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him. We'll be back. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
What we got? L80.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Bell. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And he's all the way down to the 13-yard line. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate. It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Well, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
That is caught by Anderson for a Jets touchdown. Robbie Anderson with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game, as his guys continue to pour it on. Catanzaro now for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Eluding the pressure right. And unable to connect on the long pass. He actually brings it in, but he was out of bounds, incomplete. So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. Got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach?
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Brian Poole. And it's a touchdown for the Jets. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
All comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
Deep in there, right? They'll run with Hunt on second down. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Kareem Hunt, 79 yards. And the Browns are able to eat in just a bit to this sizable deficit. Extra point by Seibert, up and good as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep.
The Jets take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
On second and 9, Darnold out right here to Herndon. The reception good for 7. It's third down. By the end of last year, Herndon had solidified himself as the primary tight end for New York. Overall, second leading receiver in 2018 on the team behind Robbie Anderson. Backed his 39 catches, most among rookie tight ends in the league a season ago. They'll try and run for it with Bell. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. The Browns will quickly use their third and final timeout. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this fourth quarter.
Whip, 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 whip. Watch the whip.
A first down throw, Darnold, and his throw's going to be incomplete. DJ Chark, the intended target. That'll bring up second down. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense can crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it...
And this will be caught, and the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Second and 10 now from the 27. Throwing, Mayfield. And now here is another interception. Picked off Byron Jones. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
The Jets take over first and 10 at the 44-yard line.
They'll run on first down. Bell. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Bell. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 10 more there and another first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, Montgomery. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That 2nd down play nets a -4.
53's Mike. Check. 53's Mike. Blue Dan.
Darnold is going to take a knee, and that should just about do it.
Well, Brandon, they're getting to 2-0, and this time they're able to take a knee at the end and secure the victory.
Preseason, coach said their goal, they obviously want to win everything. He said, I think we can get off to a 3-0 start. Well, here they are looking at 2-0 right now. So that'll move them up 5, make the kick a little easier.
And rarely do you get kickers that don't want some yardage closer to the post, right? It's rare, but in this case, he'll definitely take him.
Catanzaro's kick is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Jets, they use the favorable early schedule to their advantage as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.